Request permission to come aboard, sir.
Permission granted.
Midshipman Ingham reporting for duty, sir.
Lieutenant Commander Vaughn, Executive Officer. Welcome aboard, Mr. Ingham. Your orders, Mr. Ingham?
Oh, yes, sir.
You have something for us, I believe, Mr. Ingham?
Sir? Oh, yes, sir. Aye, aye, sir. Your mail, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ingham. Mr. Green.
Sir.
See to the distribution of the mail.
Yes, sir.
I've quartered you with Mr. Dan.
Do you follow me, Mr. Ingham?
First midshipman duty?
Oh, well, yes, it's my first ship as a midshipman, yes, sir.
Wrong.
What, sir?
My name isn't Sir. It's Arthur.
Fred.
I've been a midshipman for 3 months. I've got squatter's rights on the lower, but if you...
Oh, no, as a matter of fact, I prefer.
Good. I get seasick in the upper. Now, mind if I go for my mail?
Oh, please, sir.
Sure, you'll be all right. You can find your way around without
I
a
can
guide.
manage just fine, sir.
Oh, be prepared.
For what?
You'll be the first newspaper we've had in 3 months. Be prepared to answer lots of questions. Adios, Fred.
Adios, Arthur. No. The way Mr. Clay worked it out is this. See, Maine comes in free, but Missouri's a slave state.
Do we really need more states?
They just published the new census before I left. Do you know how many people are living in the United States these days? 10 million.
10 million?
Gentlemen,
Captain Milton.
I came down to your mess, gentlemen, because I'm just as hungry as you are for news from home. Keep your seat, Mr. Vaughn.
Captain Milton, my pleasure to introduce Mr. Frederick Ingham.
Ingham?
How do you do, Captain Minton, sir?
Gentlemen, please.
Captain, sir?
No, thank you. Catch me up, Ingham. What do my men know that I do not?
I was just saying, sir, that Maine and Missouri have been admitted to the Union.
One north, one south. Good. Let's try and keep up the balance. We'll need new flags, Johnson. 2 more stars.
That makes 23, which is a hard number to square up, sir.
Not at all. 4 rows of 5 stars, 1 of 3. Well, now, what's the biggest news from home? What are they all talking about?
There's lots of talk about buying Florida, sir. The last I heard... Well, the Spanish have put a price on it.
Gentlemen,
Good evening, sir.
good evening, Captain.
Mr. Nolan.
Vaughn. My day at your mess, I believe, Mr. Vaughn.
Come in.
Oh, I believe I have your seat, sir.
Please, I hope I'm not intruding on any official business, Captain.
Not at all. Mr. Nolan, Mr. Ingham.
Ingham, my pleasure.
Very pleased to meet you, Mr. Nolan, sir.
I've outstayed my welcome back to the quarterdeck. I trust you'll find us pleasant company, Mr. Ingham.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, Captain, I mean to ask you, would you duty master to me? I didn't know we had that many minutes separated.
Blowing from the south-southwest, Mr. Ingham, appears for in-person weather.
Yes, sir. What blazes is he? Is he the chaplain?
No.
Well, who is he? What's the big mystery? I've got an ankle as big as a melon and not a word of explanation from you.
His name is Nolan.
I heard his name. I'm not deaf. I want
Philip Nolan.
Philip Nolan. Are you saying such a man exists?
Well, you've just seen him.
I thought, Good God.
What did you think?
I thought... I've heard the story, of course. I thought, I think everybody thinks that it's just a myth, like the Flying Dutchman.
That was Philip Nolan, the man without a country.
But the men at the mess, you all seemed amiable to.
Well, why not?
If the story's true, he's a bloody traitor. I mean, the man has betrayed his country. You can't just... How can you talk to a man like that?
Mr. Danforth, if you start aft now, you'll be just in time for your watch.
Yes, sir.
You couldn't believe the story, huh?
Well, I don't see how it could be possible, sir. The United States does not send men into exile.
Mr. Nolan has been in exile for 13 years.
How long aboard this ship, sir?
2 years. Before that, 2 years with the Intrepid, 4 years with the Valiant.
Excuse me, sir. If the story's true, then it's also true that Nolan's a traitor. I can't understand how people can sit at the same table with him. How can they tolerate his presence?
He's a tolerable man.
Nolan, sir? Philip Nolan? Then Nolan is a traitor, isn't he?
The court said so, didn't it?
I don't know, sir.
Then listen to me, Mr. Ingham. Listen to me. Nolan was a young officer in the artillery. He was stationed at Fort Massac on the Mississippi, out in the old Louisiana territory. And it was there that Nolan first met Aaron Burr. Well, you know Burr in the year 1805. He killed Alexander Hamilton in that duel. And popular opinion and Thomas Jefferson had driven him out of house and home, politics, and respectability. So he headed west, because he had a certain incredible idea.
That's what Jefferson refuses to fight. Well, if he grovels, must we grovel too? Or do we do what Sister Jefferson is terrified of doing? Raise an army to conquer Texas and Mexico. It is I, gentlemen, who should be sitting in the White House. You all know that. By the grace of one miserly, misbegotten vote, Jefferson defeats me and now sits on the throne. Then what a singular foppery it is that I, the loser, should have the true vision for this nation. And he, the winner, cannot see the end of his nose, for I am right in this and he is wrong. I cry for action now. He whimpers for a watchful waiting. Which do you choose, gentlemen? Where do you look? To the horizon with me, to the sun, to the future, to Mexico, to a country glorious now, reaching for destiny now, or with Jefferson and the status quo? Look at the map, gentlemen. Look at the inevitable. Texas must become a part of the United States. Mexico must become a part of the United States. Look at the map. Look at the drive of history. The boundaries of this country must go from sea to sea.
Well, you know about Aaron Burr. He was simply one of those born to command. Jefferson couldn't hound that out of him. And in 1805, he could still turn any young officer's head.
You wouldn't think of joining. You'd become a deserter.
I would not be a deserter. I would simply be leaving an army that does nothing to join an army of dedicated Americans. Dedicated to the growth of this country, dedicated to joining Texas and Mexico with our union.
Would you declare war for the sake of Aaron Burr?
Burr's principles happen to be mine. This country has a destiny. Destiny that reaches from sea to sea. Any patriot sees that. Mr. Burr sees it, even if Mr. Jefferson does not.
Mr. Jefferson happens to be the President of the United States.
Because of one misbegotten vote. If one muddlehead in Washington had cleared his head long enough to make one vote properly, Mr. Burr would be in the White House and we would be riding into Mexico.
Pick your heroes badly, Philip. Burr doesn't want Texas for the United States. He hates the United States.
Wrong.
He wants Texas for himself.
Wrong.
An empire of his own. Texas, Mexico, South America. And when he's got his kingdom, he'll throw all you little patriots out with a dead meat.
Sir, Mr. Burr is a patriot.
The lieutenant may have been right. We don't know. Probably never will. Whether Burr was a flaming patriot or a would-be emperor. All we know is he did seduce quite a few young pup officers with that siren mouth of his. They deserted from the regular army, eager to lie down and die for the sanctification of Aaron Burr. Luckily, a whole plot was nipped in the bud before they could even group for a march on Texas. And Mr. Burr was brought to trial before the circuit court, Chief Justice John Marshall presiding.
Nor in a condition to make war, however treasonable, cannot constitute treason. Treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them. What is the natural import of the words levying of war, and who may be said to levy it? In the case of the United States against Bowman and Swarthout, it is said that in this opinion,
all this money,
it is the act of
to
procurement.
waste a trial on a man who could give lessons in treason to Benedict Arnold.
Must be testified to
Get to
by
the
witnesses
point.
in order.
Hang him.
The jury have now heard the opinion of the court on the law in this case. They will apply the law to the facts and will find a verdict of guilty or not guilty as their own consciences may direct. Gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
And what is your verdict?
We of the jury say that Aaron Burr is not proved to be guilty under this indictment by any evidence submitted to us. We therefore find him not guilty.
Innocent. My God, innocent. If Aaron Burr is innocent, then Mr. Justice Marshall is the traitor. Did you hear that charge to the jury? It was a mockery. What has happened to justice? What is happening to us?
And what about the young officers who followed Burr? Were they also acquitted of conspiracy? Listen to the wheels of justice grinding exceeding fine.
All rise. Prisoner will rise. Mr. Nolan, you were party to a plot against the United States.
For the United States, sir, not against the United States.
Hold your tongue, sir, until given permission to speak. This court, sir, has taken into consideration the fact that your generation of Army officers does not know the real meaning of war, hence the real meaning of loyalty. But our generation, sir, all the men sitting on this bench fought in the Revolution. We fought for an idea called the United States. We fought, we bled. We were willing to die for that idea.
As I am, sir.
We have handed over to you the results of our victory. We have given you a country. We've handed to you our dream come true. The cavalier manner in which you accept it amazes us. We fail to understand how you could deny the flag that we have handed you and become involved in the traitorous notions of a rascal.
A patriot, sir.
Aaron Burr is an assassin and a turncoat.
Aaron Burr has been acquitted, sir.
Who would bargain away the whole idea of the United States.
Damn the United States! I wish I may never hear of the United States again.
You have sworn on your faith as a Christian to be true to the United States. Prisoner will remain in the custody of the officers of the court until we return.
Good God, Nolan. What right has he to slander Burr? Burr's innocent. He's been acquitted.
Which is not the point. What a damn fool thing that was to say to Colonel Morgan.
United States. With dissension everywhere. What does that old fool keep saying? We're united. I'm sorry.
I'm not the one to apologize to. As soon as they return, tell him you're sorry. And for God's sake, drop this damned hot-headed swagger. It's going to send you to prison if you persist.
All right. I'll kneel to his nibs and kiss his foot. Is that what you want?
Nolan.
All rise.
Colonel Morgan, sir, I would like to...
I repeat, prisoner, you speak only when permission is granted.
Colonel, sir, with the utmost respect, I submit that the prisoner...
The same rule of order pertains to prisoner's counsel. Prisoner, hear the sentence of the court. The court decides, subject to the approval of the President, that you may never hear the name of the United States again. Marshal, you will take the prisoner to Orleans in an armed boat. You will deliver him to the naval commander there. You will receive your written orders from the officer on duty here this evening. This court is adjourned.
Yes, the prisoner got precisely what he asked for. But it was a long time before the prisoner understood the consequences of his request.
But he was such a young man when he said it. Good God, do we condemn men to exile for life for losing their tempers?
We did it in this case, Mr. Ingham. 3 old men did it. Done. He boarded his first ship in New Orleans in 1870. His endless voyage had begun. He was the man without a country. When it all started, none of our ships took long cruises. So for Nolan, it was ship to ship to ship. And he always carried the same orders.
Sir, you will receive the person of Philip Nolan, late a lieutenant in the United States Army. You will take the prisoner on board your ship and keep him there with such precautions as shall prevent his escape. You will provide him with such quarters, rations, and clothing as would be proper for an officer of his late rank. He is to be exposed to no indignity of any kind, nor is he unnecessarily to be reminded that he is a prisoner. But under no circumstances is he ever to hear of his country or to see any information regarding it. Before the end of your cruise, you will receive orders which will give effect to this intention. Signed, Colonel A.B. Morgan, United States Army.
In the beginning, he was himself, a brash young man. Considered his imprisonment a farce, affected to enjoy each voyage and all that sort of thing. It was well done. He was a good actor. But I think I can tell you the very day when he broke down. It's a story I got from poor Phillips, who sailed with him on the Adams.
Now seems it far, now seems anear, now meets and now eludes the ear, now seems some mountainside to sweep, now faintly dies in valley deep.
Well, Mr. Nolan.
Gentlemen, I seem to hear some noble lines. Not quite Shakespeare, but...
Scott, Mr. Nolan. Oh. Walter Scott. It's his latest book, The Lay of the Last Minstrel.
The crew of the Dauntless sent it over, that English frigate with the fleet in Algeciras.
Oh, yes. Is it good, Mr. Phillips?
Oh, marvelous, sir. Full of magic and border chivalry. Richard Musgrave, noble knight, has just been killed in battle, laid on his shield, put to rest in his father's grave.
And now the minstrel is about to sing over the grave.
Here you are, sir. Your turn to read.
Oh, I don't know. It's been some time.
Well, it's good exercise, Mr. Nolan. Like singing. La, la, la. Reading aloud is good for the throat.
Walter Scott, The Soldier's Hope. All right. Seems now as if the minstrel's wail, now the sad requiem loads the gale. Last o'er the warrior's closing grave, rung the full choir in choral stave. Should be music, shouldn't it? After due pause, they bade him tell why he, who touched the harp so well, should thus with ill-rewarded toil wander a poor and thankless soil, when the more generous southern land would well requite his skillful hand. The aged harper, howsoe'er his only friend, his harp was dear, like not to hear it rank so high above his flowing poesy. Less liked he still that scornful jeer misprised the land he loved so dear. High was the sound as thus again the bard resumed his minstrel strain. End of Canto 5. Canto 6. Breathes there the man with soul so dead, who never to himself hath said, "This is my own, my native land."
Mr. Nolan, let me assure you that none of us has ever read the book before.
Whose heart hath ne'er within him burned, as home his footsteps he hath turned, from wandering on a foreign strand.
Phillips told me he was never the same man again on that voyage. Very shy afterwards. Seldom spoke unless he was spoken to, and then to a few personal friends. He has friends, you know. They're men who like Nolan.
Just that incident, that one incident broke his spirit?
Let's call it the first one. There were other incidents afterward. Once on board the Nautilus in the Bay of Naples.
Yes, Vincent.
Captain, sir, concerning the party tonight.
Yes?
Well, sir, there will be women aboard, sir.
Well, I should hope there'd be women. You expect me to dance with the British ambassador? Come to the point.
Well, we need a special cloakroom for the ladies, sir.
Aha, you want to commandeer this cabin?
Oh, no, sir. We want the one closest to the forward hatch.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Nolan's.
Oh.
Well, sir, we can't very well ask Mr. Nolan to hand over his cabin and not invite him.
Well, invite the man, for God's sake, and stop thinking like a bloody politician.
Aye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Just one condition.
Yes, Captain.
An officer will accompany Mr. Nolan at all times.
Oh, yes, sir. Orders concerning Mr. Nolan will be observed to the letter.
There will be no mention of home in Mr. Nolan's presence.
Oh, no, sir. Thank you, sir. that mean? Yes, sir. Your turn, Mr. Fellows. This is the fifth dance. Mr. Fellows has a few words he'd like with you, Mr. Nolan.
Nice night, sir.
I'll only be a moment, Mr. Fellows. Just let me inhale the ladies a little longer.
Oh, no, sir. Stay. We're delighted to have you.
Lieutenant Vincent, ma'am. And this is the highlight of this tour. The highlight of my life. I'll be dancing with the celebrated Mrs. Grimes.
Oh, Mr. Vincent, I feel that you've all been rehearsing these little compliments just to make a married lady feel single.
Oh, no, ma'am.
Oh, yes, Mr. Vincent. Mr. Nolan, do you remember a Miss Rutledge from Philadelphia?
Indeed. Who would expect that lovely lady to remember me?
Would you care to dance with me, Mr. Nolan?
Vincent.
Sir. By all means, sir. By all means.
Years, isn't it, Mr. Nolan?
7, Mom.
At the Winterbottom Ball in Chester Springs, 7 years. And to think that you still remember me.
Man doesn't forget. Dancing with the belle at the ball now.
Flattery, Mr. Nolan.
Thanks, Mrs. Graff.
Oh, careful, I shall have to tell Mr. Graff. You must meet him. He's the consul at Naples, you know. He's such a busy man. I've had to spend my entire married life living in and out of trunks. I've had to, how does my husband put it? Renationalize myself every year. Learn French in France, Italian in Italy. Do you parlez-vous français, Mr. Nolan?
Un peu, madame, un petit peu.
How marvelous. How marvelous it is to see a familiar face and talk civilized talk. I can't tell you what it means to talk to someone from home.
What do you hear from home, Mom?
Home? Mr. Nolan. I thought you were the man that never wanted to hear of home again.
Play some other blasted tune.
Which? The lies about him are legion, but these are true stories I'm telling you. I'll tell you another one, and a happier one, though it happened during the war. Nolan was still aboard the Nautilus. The year, of course, was 1812.
God, Mr. Nolan. Vincent. It's hell up there. No officers left.
Man, back to your gun. Come on, lad. Come on. Look, get that fire. Get the fire. Barrel down. I want it back up the clock, boys. Come on, lad. All right, boy. Willingham, get over there. Gotta get the fire out. Get that fire, man. The bucket. Get there. Carter, get the bucket. Get the wounded man up to the cockpit. Get that number one over there. Get that gun over there. Come on, lads. Come on. Easy there. Easy there. Let him some slack. Leave on that line. Give on that line. Give on that line. All right, look sharp, lads. Aim for the mast. Wait for my command. Gun number 1 ready. Gun number 2. Number 3. And number 4. Number 4 ready yet? All right, lads. Easy as she goes. Hurry up. Aim high, lads. Easy. Easy. Aim. Fire! Well done, lads. Get the power up. Give them another dose. Come on, boys. Hurry it up. Come on.
Would you come up here, Mr. Nolan? Mr. Nolan, we're all very grateful. Put it on, Mr. Nolan, put it on. I shall not forget this day, Mr. Nolan, and you never shall, sir. You will be named in the dispatches. Further, I intend to write a letter to the Secretary of War. I intend to ask him, sir, that you might be pardoned.
Two things Nolan's never parted with over the years. His old army cloak and that sword that Captain Pendleton gave him after the battle.
And did the captain make a special plea for his pardon, sir?
Captain, sir.
Mr. Ingham, sir.
Yes, Ingham.
Did he ask for Nolan's pardon, sir?
He did.
And?
Nothing ever came of it, ever.
Why, sir?
Mr. Ingham, have you ever tried to cut through the politics of Washington City?
Sail ho! Big point, starboard bow, Captain.
You can smell them.
Yes, sir. It's a slaver, all right.
So now we do the nasty business for the British again, eh? Johnny's in Washington make the treaties, and we're stuck in the South Atlantic with the dirty work.
Battle station, sir?
Helen, Mr. Vaughn.
Slavers don't carry guns in these waters. Every available inch on deck and below is jammed with human flesh.
2 points into the wind and hold as close as possible.
Aye, sir.
Captain, when we get within range, I want one shot across her bow.
Aye, aye, Sam.
Mr. Tompkins, break out the longboat.
Aye, sir.
Mr. Vaughn will head the boarding party.
Aye, sir.
Sir, you will follow Mr. Vaughn.
Aye, aye, sir.
Mr. Ingham, this will be your day of baptism. Not exactly by fire, but worse, perhaps. You two will accompany Mr. Vaughn.
Aye, aye, sir.
Mr. Ingham, why don't you go topside?
Mr. Ingham! Take the longboat back! Tell the captain I need
somebody who talks Portuguese. So, you're free. Take him off. Up.
Here, Mr. Nolan, give me your hand.
I hear about 15 languages out there, sir. They can't even talk to each other. But I do get bits of Portuguese. Do you speak Portuguese, sir?
Oh, but Mr. Nolan speaks Portuguese.
Tell them they're free, that's all.
Tell them they're free.
Liberado. Adoro. Aquí es Tortura liberado.
Munsa muente. Por você agora, leva-nos a casa.
He says, Captain, he would like to have them taken home.
Tell him we'll drop them at Palmas.
Eva, veritas pas Palmas.
Um amor a Los y Palmas. No a Palmas, no. Esse não é peixe algum. De nós conhece. Como é que nos podemos registrar de la casa? Leva-nos os nossos filhos e esposa.
Captain, he says they do not know Palmas. He says that they want to go to their own country, to their own homes, to their own wives.
He says that, does he? Fancy that. Well, just inform him how lucky he is we saw to it they didn't reach their destination. They won't be slaves, they'll be free men. Isn't that enough? No, by God. Now he wants us to drop them off at every port along the Ivory Coast. We're not a damn ferry. Tell him that.
Nos tempos se sienta cuando barco sea. Nos tempo estrado, amarrados de baraga para pechos desde o como da virgem. Encaixado nosotros, culeres, deltados, nosotros, profias frías.
Captain, he says that they have been held in the hold of the ship for many days and many nights. He says that there were 170 of them when they started, and now there are only 60. He said there were 40 children, and now there are but 4. He says they have been chained together in a lying down position. He says that they've been forced to lie in their own filth, and that he himself was captured 7 months ago. He says that he has a very old mother and father, and that they will die if he does not go home.
All right. Tell him yes. If they lived in the mountains of the moon, we'd see that they got there. If we have to sail through the great white desert, they shall go home.
Eva, veritas tua casa.
Zasu el kemos wakida.
Frederick.
Sir?
If you're ever tempted to say a word or do a deed that puts a bar between you and your country, pray that God send you home to heaven. Think of home. Talk of it. Write of it. Hold it closer to you the further away you go. And when you're free, go back to it the way those black slaves are going back to theirs.
I will, sir, I will.
Never dream a dream. But of serving her as she bid you, though it be through 1,000 hells. Never let a night pass that you don't pray God to bless her and guide her, your country and your flag. Remember that behind all those men and all the officers, the government is your country. Your country. You belong to her as you belong to your own mother. Stand by her.
I
will, sir.
Anyone had said that to me at your age.
That was the strange beginning of our friendship.
Evening, Mr. Ingham.
Evening, sir.
Evening for the stars.
Oh, yes, sir.
And the moon. You know much about the stars, Mr. Ingham?
Yes, sir. We learn everything there is to know before we become midshipmen, sir.
Indeed. You know the name of that star 40 degrees over the bowsprit?
Cassiopeia, sir?
Cassiopeia. Who was Cassiopeia, Ingham?
Sir.
They don't teach mythology in the military, do they?
No, sir.
No. They're much more concerned with mathematics. For centuries, men have been fascinated by the stars, but I was always interested in the moon. Do you know much about the moon, Mr. Ingham?
Oh, some things, sir.
We, in our own cynical modern way, we salute the moon.
We do, sir.
Oh, yes. Moon over your shoulder, make a wish, that sort of thing?
Yes, sir.
Moon, husband to the sun. The most sacred symbol of Greek times. They say that, who was it, Endymion was married to the moon.
He introduced me to the folklore, to the other meanings of the constellations. He made me take the one simple step from education into learning.
Come in. Come in, Mr. Ingham. Right, sir. Close the door. Sit down. I'll be right with you. These things away here. Well. Oh, yes, that's my library, given to me by officers on different ships. They gave them to me. It's quite all right, quite acceptable. They were all published outside of America. And as long as there's no reference to America, it's quite acceptable. Oh, don't look embarrassed. I can speak of America in my presence, even if you can't, Mr. Ingham. Let's see. Oh, yes, you might be interested in this scrapbook. I believe that every man should have a diversion other than his profession, don't you, Mr. Ingham?
Yes, sir.
Well, perhaps you might be interested in these plants. My hobby is natural history. Now, these are plates of plants you might be interested in.
How do you collect your specimens, sir?
Oh, I get them from the crew and officers, and I made scavengers out of all of them. See, they bring me all kinds of things. Oh, birds, fish, centipedes, bugs, everything.
How often do you work on it, sir?
Every day, every day.
Every day?
2 hours a day, yes. Of course, I have 5 hours for reading, and then sometimes I work with the surgeon, and sometimes I talk to the men and the officers, and I like to go aloft. Particularly like to go aloft at night. I find that a very reflective time, don't you? Well, let's see. Oh, yes, that English newspaper may be of interest to you. I'm allowed foreign newspapers. This particular one, however, looks as if the censor shears have done their duty. Might be a little difficult for you to peruse. However, I doubt if it was anything more offensive than the advertisement for a packet boat from Southampton to New York. Have you ever been to New York, Mr. Ingham? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, dear me.
He could look at the moon and see Endymion. He could look at the antenna of an insect and see parables and miracles. His enthusiasm for all the works of God had not been dimmed by his remoteness from the world, had not been blunted by his terrible loneliness. What a superb teacher he was. It was Nolan who made me see books in the running brooks and sermons and stones. But every minute I spent with him, I felt the injustice of it, the cruelty and the terrible, terrible waste. I was his pupil aboard the Carruthers for a year, until I received new orders.
Mr. Ingham. Thank you, sir.
Good luck, Mr. Ingham. Glad to have had you aboard.
Thank you, sir.
Fred, best of luck.
We'll meet again.
I hope so.
Have you seen,
Mr. Nolan, I've learned more from you, sir, than, what I mean to say, sir, is I've come to...
Beware of heroes, Frederick. Beware of heroes.
If I write you, Mr. Nolan, will you write me back?
Oh, no, I think it's best you forget me. Just forget me.
I will write you, Mr. Nolan. I did not see Mr. Nolan again for 10 years. I wrote to Mr. Nolan as I'd promised. I never received a reply, but I wrote whenever I would learn of his whereabouts on this ship or that ship sailing, forever sailing. I wrote to him about myself and my own voyages. I never wrote about the Forbidden Land. But in 1830, I met an old friend. It happened when I was Captain Eddington's aide when we met the Brandywine at sea.
Captain, I want you to know Lieutenant Ingham.
How do you do,
Pleasure,
sir?
sir. I'd like you to meet Lieutenant Danforth.
Oh, sir.
Fred, how
What a
are you?
great surprise. How long's it been?
I'm not sure.
I think 10 years.
Right, the Carruthers and Captain Minton and all that. Come down below. Let's talk in my quarters.
Permission to enter your own cabin?
This isn't exactly my cabin.
Yes? Hello, Arthur.
Mr. Nolan.
Frederick Ingham, come in, lad. Come in, lad.
Good to see you.
Come in. Sit down. Sit down. Oh, let me take a look at you. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. Oh, you look fine.
Fred has come aboard for the day to visit us, Mr. Nolan. Visit us and surprise us.
That's a lovely surprise, yes.
Even more books than before, sir.
Oh, yes. I must exercise my mind, you know.
Spanish, Turkish, Portuguese, French. Do you speak all these languages?
Oh, in my fashion, Frederick. I don't know how well, though. I don't get a chance to practice too much. I'm even studying the Chinese alphabet now. I'm sure I won't get a chance to practice that. Oh, sit down. Here, lad, come
Thank
on.
you, sir.
Let me tell you how much I appreciated those letters you wrote to me.
Oh, sir, I can't tell you how I've looked forward to seeing you again. To tell you that the knowledge that you have given me, sir, it was...
I want to show you something that was given to me. The officers on this ship are a very good, decent bunch of men. And recently they honored me by celebrating my birthday on the islands of, what is that, Arthur? Islands of...
The Azores.
Azores. They presented me with this gift. Isn't that a lovely atlas?
Oh, yes, sir.
Of course, it's incomplete, but lovely nonetheless. You know, Frederick, when I first went to sea, there were 17 states. And today, there are 24. Think of that, 24. I know that because of the flag. They keep adding stars to the flag. I don't know what states they are, but I get a pretty sly idea by looking at the map to see what they've cut out. I'm sorry, Texas has never been cut out. I always hoped Texas would be a part of the United States. I don't know if I ever told you, but my brother and I, in our younger days, spent some wonderful days in Texas. We were hunting for wild horses. It was a remarkable experience. And the grand landscape, not unlike Spain in the countryside. I'll never forget those days.
The reunion was all too brief, just a few hours, and I did not see him again for 15 years.
So, gentlemen,
in 45, I was for a time in charge of the Corvette George Washington. I'd picked the Washington because I knew Nolan was aboard her. We'd become shipmates again. And as luck would have it, Arthur Danforth was on the Brady, lying with us in the same flotilla off La Plata. For the occasion, we'd looked around the flotilla and we found Williams, who'd been with Nolan on the Catalyst, and Watrous, who'd been 2 years on the Angelus with him, and Morris, who'd sailed a year with him, and Waters, an army officer who'd gone around the Cape with him.
Just how good are these horses? After all, I'm buying them for the cavalry. I want the best. How good, he said. How good, senor? Well, damned if he didn't pull a piece of meat out of his mouth, hold it up. He said, "They are the very best, senor. Eat one for yourself and see." Damned if he didn't think I was buying the horses to eat.
Your story recalls to mind, Mr. Waters, when I was a young man, indeed, just a lad. My brother and I, we were hunting wild horses in Texas. And it was a fascinating experience. We loved it. It's a remarkable landscape, Texas. Not unlike the country in Spain. And I've often wondered whatever happened to it. Is it still part of the territory of Spain, Texas? Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot. I'm quite... There's wine. I hope I didn't cast a pall over them conversation.
Mr. Nolan, you can now cut the territory of Texas out of your atlas. That was even an act of audacity on Danforth's part to give me his silent approval, for I was probably the first officer in almost 40 years to break the trust I had given Nolan information about the United States. But it was a sublime moment, as much for me as for him, and looking at him suffering and exulting, I knew what I had to do. I carried with me to Washington documents and letters and files, my own research and Danforth's, and a collection from hosts of men who knew him. I would bring justice to bear in the case of Philip Nolan. I had certain friends in influential places, so certain important governmental doors were open for me. The doors opened easily enough, and the important governmental men behind them listened to me.
Very interesting, Captain Ingham. Very interesting. But of course you realize there is no precedent for this sort of case. There is nothing in the records to establish a standard.
Captain Ingham, sir, we appreciate the sincerity of your intentions, and we are in full sympathy. The case is one that merits the most profound attention of this department. But...
Have you ever tried to cut through the politics of Washington City?
I had come with only 4 days' leave, and time was running out. I did have influential friends, and on the 4th day, I had an appointment with the great one himself, with the Secretary of the Navy himself. You can right this unspeakable wrong, sir. You can do it with a stroke of your pen. Do it, sir. Give Mr. Nolan his freedom. 38 years of exile for a young man's one unthinking utterance. I'd give the old man his freedom now, sir. He's earned it 1,000 times over.
What a gross miscarriage of justice. No man should be keel-hauled so long, whatever the crime. Do you agree?
With all my heart, sir.
Certainly the armed services should never be guilty of such reprehensible animus. But the first fact we must keep in mind is that all the records on Philip Nolan were burned in the sack of Washington in 1812. And where there are no records, there can be no redress, eh, Mr. Ingham?
Sir, the men on the
ships... But we are not so inclined. We will not justify an injustice on a technicality. In this man's Navy, we deal from compassion, not technicalities. But let us look a little deeper, compassionately. There are other questions that must be considered. That very order of 1807 that sent Nolan to sea whether it exists on paper or not, is still a legal order. Shall I then cancel the legal order and let him go? What if he should then bring an action against the Department of the Navy for false imprisonment or even kidnapping?
Sir, Mr. Nolan is not...
Captain Ingham, sir, I am on your side. I think I have made that very clear. On the side of Philip Nolan, on the side of the angels. But surely in return for that confidential expression of personal commitment, you can see my side of the question, my delicate position. If there are no papers, no orders...
No, there are no papers, there are no orders. There is only the man. He lives, he breathes, he suffers.
Captain
Ingham!
Containment, Captain, containment. It is the least I expect of an officer in the Navy. I offer this advice, not in any official capacity, not as your superior in the department, Captain, but as a friend. The thing to do, sir, is to let it alone. Let it alone. And now, sir, now.
My dear friend, I tried to find heart and life to tell you it is all over with poor Nolan. On this voyage, I have been with the old fellow more than I ever was. In recent days, I could see that he was not strong. The doctor had been watching him carefully, and yesterday morning...
Come in.
Captain, Mr. Nolan wants to see you.
Send him in.
In his stateroom, sir. This morning, he did not leave his stateroom, so I went and knocked on his door.
He let you in?
And asked for you.
Well, he's never asked anybody to his quarters on this voyage.
You'll know why, sir, when you see his quarters.
Man. You see, I have a country here. You know, I am dying. I can't go home. Surely, there is something you can tell me.
Mr. Nolan, I am bound.
Before you say anything, let me say something that I know you are aware of. There is no one on this ship or in America, God bless her, who is more loyal than I am. And no man can love the old flag and pray for her more than I do. There are 34 stars. I do not know all of them. Surely, Jennifer,
Surely you could tell me something before I...
Where shall I begin?
God bless you. God bless you, Danforth. God bless you. Oh, give me the names. Tell me the names, all the names.
That is not a bad beginning. Let us begin with the names.
Yes. Bring map. Get the map. Bring the map. Over here. Down here. Draw. 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 Here. Draw, honey.
Well, sir, as best I can, there is Texas.
Yeah.
As you know.
Yes. Yes, Texas. That gold star there, I believe, is where my brother's grave is. But I know, Texas. Please, draw the others in.
Yes.
Yes.
California.
California. Oh, so large.
There's Oregon.
Oregon, yes. Oh, tell me. Draw them in. Draw them all in, Danforth. Draw them all in.
The south, there's Florida.
Florida.
Oh, Fred. Fred, I swear to you that I felt like a monster, that I had not told him everything before. Danger or no danger. Delicacy or no delicacy. Who was I, that I should have been acting the tyrant all this time over this sainted old man who had years ago expiated in his whole manhood's life the madness of a boy's treason?
And the last state to be admitted in this territory was Kansas, which was just 2 years ago.
Yes. 34 states. 34. 34 stars. 34 states, and none of them were taken back.
No, sir. Never.
And Vera was not successful. Thank God for that. Tell me about the old war, where I took over the gun, and they gave me the sword.
That was the Second War of Independence. We called it the War of 1812.
Yes, it was the British we fought. Why?
Well, there was a general belief that the British were illegally seizing
I tell you,
and
Frederick,
searching American vessels.
it was a hard thing to condense the history of half a century into that talk with a sick man. And I do not know what I told him. Of inventions and books and literature. In a half century at sea, he had read more books than a man can count. But he had never read Poe or Hawthorne or Emerson or Cooper. He had never heard of them. I told him of the discovery of gold in California, of Perry in Japan, but with the queerest interruptions that ever you heard. You see, it was Robinson Crusoe asking all the accumulated questions of 56 years.
Free Texas. In 1845, the government established an institution called Annapolis in Maryland, which is designed to train young naval cadets to serve as officers on ships. And, of course, West Point in 1802, you know about it. Still turns out young Army officers.
Who was in command of the Legion of the West?
A very gallant officer named Grant.
Grant. Where are the headquarters?
Well, by our last news, Grant is about to establish his headquarters at Vicksburg on the Mississippi River. I would say about 100 miles, more or less, above your old Fort Adams.
Yeah. That would probably be on the old Vicks plantation. That's very interesting.
I told him everything I could think of that would show the grandeur of his country and its prosperity. But I could not make up my mouth to tell him a word about this infernal rebellion. How could I tell the old man that his new country, his great, new, beloved country, has cut itself in two, and North and South are eating each other alive?
Very interesting. Denver, who is our president now?
His name is Abraham Lincoln.
Could that be the son of old General Benjamin Lincoln? I met him once during the Indian Treaty.
No, sir. Mr. Lincoln is a Kentuckian. He's a man who came up from the ranks.
Good. That's good.
Time for a rest, sir.
Oh, no, wait. I have something here I would like you to read. Let it open. It will open at the right spot. Read it.
For ourselves and our country, O gracious God, we thank thee. That notwithstanding our manifold transgressions of thy holy laws, thou hast continued to us thy marvelous kindness.
Now, near the end of the book, there is a passage about the president. Read that.
Let us pray for the president. Send him help from the sanctuary and strengthen him out of Zion. Almighty God, whose kingdom is everlasting and power infinite, have mercy upon thy whole church, and so rule the heart of thy chosen servant, President Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Our president.
Our president. Thank you, Denver. Good friend. Now I think I will sleep. You take my Bible and look in it after I'm gone.
Unto Almighty God, we commend the soul of our brother departed, and we commit his body to the deep, in the sure and certain hope of the resurrection, unto eternal life, through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. I will now read the first sentence of Mr. Nolan's last request. Bury me in the sea. It has been my home, and I love it.
bury me in the sea. It has been my home, and I love it. But will not someone set up a stone for my memory at Fort Adams or at Orleans, that my disgrace may not be more than I ought to bear? Say on it, in memory of Philip Nolan, Lieutenant in the Army of the United States. He loved his country as no other man has loved her. But no man deserved less at her hands